Yes, hello everyone. I'm called Bizamana Derrick. Currently the creative lead at content creation hub called BIMA Group, which I'm the creative lead and founder. I was at Hatfield. I pursued a diploma in media design and animation, and I can vividly remember almost each and every step of the way, from the start to when we first attended school without computers, to we're drawing and painting and things like that, until the first project I put out, which was the logo of a company that I also wanted started back in the day. It was called Art Spice. Yeah, so life at Hatfield, one of the most vivid moments. There are rather a pile, but I think the other was when one of our colleagues, I've forgotten his name, he had a computer and we were doing 3D animation, and his computer started emitting smoke. We were trying to render, we were in a process called rendering, and one of our colleagues had a fairly newish computer, but it was those office computers, and then it started emitting smoke and he just blacked out. Yeah, I think it was a very funny scenario in school. We made fun of him. Yeah, my life at Hatfield, it was learning. I still remember vividly how I got there. I wasn't one of those kids who wanted to do normal courses. Diploma. I remember I was actually supposed to do a bachelor's in human resource. Yeah, I can't picture me being a human resource manager. No. So somehow my sister helped me join Hatfield, because she was working at a company called Fireworks. Then she had a designer then called Tito, who was doing well at Fireworks, and then she asked him how they could help me, and then I ended up at Hatfield that way. A very interesting journey, which has morphed me, it has morphed this part of my life, the mature bit that you have to work, the career bit. Yeah, it actually started there. But I used to also draw back in high school. I did arts. That's how I ended up at Hatfield as well. I think joining, to me, it was sort of like, it started like one of those, you don't know what you're going to end up being, right? And the more I did it, the more it started being vividly clear. And I'm one of those people who are very enthusiastic. When I start something, I want to get excited about it. So I kept learning. I even started being ahead of the class. I remember at some point I never studied photography. It was just a course unit, but I'm now doing it commercially because of my just excitement. I learn about something, especially in the creative field, I want to take it up on a serious level. So among some of the things that I know now were not necessarily taught to me. It was just out of my excitement about the industry and the whole creative thing. You just get excited and start learning new things. So you can't sit down on those things that are being taught to you in a lecture room. From Hatfield, I remember I started off at Fireworks. At the time I was doing, I was a digital executive. That was my very first job. I was a digital executive at Fireworks, and I was a digital executive who had never studied digital at the time, and it was a starting career. It was a starting job now, the time when everyone wanted to be online. And I did that because I had an idea about design, and they were looking for people to do design that would end up on the digital platforms. That's how I got my first job. From there, I ended up in the real now creative department as a junior designer. And now, because of my excitement and putting hands almost everywhere, I was doing video, I was doing graphic design. I remember at some point I ended up directing photography. Then from there, I started learning how to do photography. Yeah, I was all over the place at Fireworks. That's where I think I got my first professional job on like a contract basis. Yeah, thanks to Cham. Cham is a guy called Cham Tetera, a very prominent communications PR guru, who got me my first job. And I think one of the, not the biggest, I worked on quite a number of projects because of my nature, but one that I vividly remember that I started and finished was the Sala Plesa campaign for Pepsi. Now that I think about it, there are very many. There was also the skateboarding championship, which also started and finished, but the Sala Plesa really stood out because it had so many things going on. We had video adverts, we had photography, we had graphic design, and I was like the guy who was like in the center. everything was like rotating around me. It gave me a bit of pressure, but the excitement that I had being a part of it got me going, kept me learning. And I think it went on for about 2 to 3 months of just design and creating content. And then after that, we also had to actually do the actual campaign and things like that. So that's one of the projects that stood out during that time. And then from Fireworks, I ended up at NBS. If you guys remember the time when NBS was rebranding, yeah, I was what was this called? It's like the pivotal. I was the guy in the middle of everything, trying to tie what was on billboard to what's online, to setting up what was on broadcast. You guys remember NBS used to be blue and red. Then we had to morph because billboards were turquoise and then TV was blue. I was the guy trying to figure out how to make everything come together. Yeah. So yeah, from NBS, I was there for about 2 years, 2.5, and then I figured just my work was done. Like I'd done what I'd come to actually do. I prefer working milestones. So I figured I was done. So I moved from there, joined Innovation Village. From the Innovation Village, now here we are, BIMA Group, creative lead. We are still pushing this content and this creative arts thing. Yes. Putting aside the fact that I was individually ready, Artfield morphed me in a particular way because I didn't see myself doing this. I'd actually never done those career searches that people do. What do you want to do for a living? I want to be a lawyer. I was never any of those guys. I was just in the middle of earth existing. So I ended up at Artfield being a part of all of these things, drawing and typography and then design and then animation. It started making me appreciate creativity, movies, music. I'm running a sound studio where we do music. So I'm not a musician, I'm not a producer, but the excitement of it, all that just came from Artfield. So it really did morph me into what I am now when it comes to the career bit, because I'm not doing anything else. I'm typically in the creative field. If any of you is trying to, if you're looking for a place and you're that kind of person and you know you have some juice, one of the things that if you want to be a mechanic, don't join Artfield. But if you have that, if you know there's some juice in there that you want to milk out and you feel like you are meant for that kind of person in the creative field, I would very strongly recommend Artfield, because this was about 2013 to 2015, which means they've actually even advanced. I don't remember when I was last. We need to visit. I'm talking to you at this point. But yes, I don't know, what was I saying? I was talking about the power. Just so you don't undermine, someone just doesn't undermine it. I'm finding a way of putting it. Yes, listening to inner self. Yeah, if you're feeling like you are a designer in the making, or you're a photographer in the making, or a videographer in the making, or an animator in the making, anything that if you feel like you're creative, writing, any of those, right? Just jump into Artfield. Believe you me, it will automatically make its path. Yeah.